Hello and welcome, my buddy. When God is observing you, He isn't waiting for you to fail or trip. No, heaven has been leaning in. Angels have stood motionless in admiration of you. Why? Because you accomplished something that very few people ever do. You chose the tougher route, the path of love and truth, when you might have chosen something simpler. And heaven saw when you made that decision. Consider this. We've heard that even angels want to know more about how God works in people. You are the enigma. Even the angels in heaven are amazed at how your life has been going. They saw you at your breaking point, and instead of giving up and becoming angry, you kept going. They observed you make sacrifices without saying a word. Nights you wept by yourself. You got up in the morning when your body told you to give up. They couldn't help but be amazed. They weren't swayed by the loud, public wins. It was the fights you had in secret, the ones that no one saw or cheered for, but heaven did. The moments you believed were squandered were the ones that made heaven pause and pay attention. To put it another way, if your life were a symphony, there would be certain notes that only heaven could hear. Notes that are so soft and precious that no one on earth would ever hear them, but the angels can hear them well. And when they hear those notes, the sigh you offered instead of yelling back, the compassion you chose instead of revenge, and the faith you held onto in the dark, they are amazed. You know, anybody can sing when the lights are on, but it's not common to keep your music going at midnight. That's why what you did astonished many in paradise. You didn't let suffering make you hard. You didn't let being betrayed define you. You didn't let failure define who you are. You kept on. And in a world when so many people give in to anger, your determination is unusual. It sends waves across time. Angels were amazed by you because you became the precise message they had heard for generations. But now you were living it out in flesh and blood. You became a living example of God's mercy. You are what it looks like when someone decides to be good even when things are bad. And maybe you don't think of yourself that way. You could still get caught up in the everyday things that happen, such bills, disappointments, and routines. But in the spirit, your everyday experiences have been amazing. Every little act of honesty has been heard in heaven like thunder. When was the last time you could have gotten back at someone but didn't? The last time you could have said something hurtful, but you opted to stay quiet instead? You could have given in last time, but you didn't. Heaven recognized each of those choices as very important, even if they may have seemed little. And the fact is that those decisions transformed you. They changed you into someone you don't even know yet, stronger, smarter, sharper, and more beautiful. You may not always feel it, but your soul is shining. Your strength has become so bright that even those who don't know you are bothered by it. Heaven isn't surprised because you're flawless. Heaven is amazed that you continued saying yes when you had every reason to say no. That is what makes you special. That's why you were picked. Angels aren't easily impressed. They've seen things that are beyond belief, like light and darkness merging and time bending to God's will, but they still stop when they see you. They've witnessed miracles, but they've also watched people give up hope and break down. People have cursed God when storms strike, but then they see you still hanging on, still loving, and still choosing to travel in the road of faith. And that, my friend, is a miracle in and of itself. So don't think less of what you've done. Don't downplay how important it is to obey. It has already been written down in heaven. It has already been celebrated in heaven. And soon, the world will see the effects of it. This indicates that the decisions you made in private will soon show up in public. It signifies that the honesty that seemed to be missing is soon to become clear. You became a soul that would never give up, a container that continued flowing even after it was empty, a warrior who had scars and still chose peace. That is not normal. That isn't missed. That is wonderful. This is what you need to remember. My buddy, you are already walking in a gift that can't be taken away. God has been with you from the beginning of your existence, and even if you felt like no one cared, His affection has never let go of you. We often imagine that blessings only come with fanfare, unexpected prosperity, acclaim, and doors that are open for everyone to see. But the fact is that you have always been fortunate. Every breath you took, every time you didn't give up, and every bit of light you hung on to when darkness threatened to steal it from you were all blessings. That showed that God's love has always been with you. It's easy to overlook that since we are taught to count our blessings in ways that are simple to see. But God's gifts are frequently seedlings that need time to grow. For years, you've had seeds of favor within you, and suddenly the ground around you is moving. The weather is shifting. What was buried in the earth is going to come up through the surface. One morning, and it could be sooner than you think, you'll wake up and feel it. The air will be different, not because the world suddenly chose to appreciate you, but because earth will finally catch up to what heaven has always known. Your inner alignment is going to show up on the exterior. It won't only be in one place. That's what heavenly favor can do. It doesn't remain in one lane. It starts to echo through different parts of your life. You'll feel more space where you used to feel pressed. You used to sense resistance, but now you will experience ease. That doesn't imply that life will be easy. It implies that the obstacles don't wear you down like they used to, since grace is helping you do what you thought was impossible. If you stay still for a little longer than you used to, you will start to see it. God's favor showing up in discussions you didn't anticipate and chances that come to you without you having to battle for them. You will witness it in how spaces that used to seem tense change to feel peaceful. That's not a stroke of luck. That's not a coincidence. That is what you get for being patient. That is the reward for years of silent obedience. And here's the best part. You don't have to chase it. You don't have to ask for it. You don't earn favor like you do wages. You get it like you get air. You already have it. You already have it on you. But when that favor starts to show, it makes people uneasy. People who used to ignore you will now pay close attention to you. Some people might not be able to tell you why they feel different when you walk into the room. It's not just you that they're sensing. It's the weight of heaven's approval finally showing up on earth. They had no idea what God was doing behind the scenes when they doubted you, ignored you, or thought you were done. They saw a delay, but heaven saw progress. They saw calm, but heaven saw work being done. Now they will see what heaven has always seen. You don't have to wait for God to love you, my friend. He already does. You don't need proof of His goodness. You are proof that it works. You don't have to work for the blessing. It's not coming. The blessing is already here, and the world is just waiting for you to catch up with it. Imagine it. When winter takes away a tree's leaves, it doesn't stop being a tree. It is still alive, still rooted, and still growing in ways that we can't see. The season doesn't change who it is. It just hides what will happen. Just like that, nothing you've lost has taken away your design. The roots are getting deeper. The life inside you has been growing. And now that the season is changing, fruit is sure to come. Soon, you'll understand that you don't have to work so hard. You'll see that what used to drain you doesn't have the same effect anymore. You'll see doors opening all around you, not because you pushed them open, but because they were always yours. The earth is getting closer to heaven, and when that time comes, don't be afraid of it. Don't think about it again. Take it with confidence, because every tear, prayer, and act of love that went unnoticed was a contribution to eternity. And eternity is not out of money. Heaven always pays back with interest. So stay still and hold on, not passively, but firmly. When God's favor starts to flow through every part of your life, like your health, relationships, finances, peace of mind, clarity of purpose, and joy that doesn't ask for permission to enter your days, watch what happens. It's all starting to come together, not because you forced it, but because you waited until the soil was ready. And this is the last truth. You won't just feel different when you enter this season. Because God's love has been changing you all along, you will be different. That time is closer than you think. My dear friend, soon, you'll wake up and everything around you will feel different because you won't be the only one quietly holding on to your faith. The world will finally see what heaven has always said about you. And when that happens, it won't just be your big break. It will be a confirmation from heaven that echoes through every part of your life. You have always been blessed. You were always loved. You were never forgotten. Before we end, I want to tell you something. As a musician, I've started a second channel called Simplified Serenity. It has soaking worship instrumentals for prayer, quiet time, and deep rest. Take the peace you felt here today with you when you spend time alone with God. There is a link in the description. I'd love to see you there.